On the previous episode of Twunyaya, we looked at issues around sexual enhancers, generation gaps, and publicity in marital issues and relationships. And we must say, we got some pretty interesting feedback from our guests on the show. Now, in this episode, we go deeper as we discuss Western practices that have fueled the pressures of sexual performance, as well as how some economic changes have led to the adoption of Western cultures that have in turn led to the loss of our own culture. Stick around as we continue the discussion.
Especially for young men, there's a lot of pressure to perform. And given that sort of scenario, you kind of have a situation where, because the music says, you know, you got guys like Man a Long Distance to the guy, Mavado. You know, that if you don't perform up to a certain level, you're not a man. You look at literature, it gives the impression that, you know, you have to perform a certain way. People watch pornography and don't realize that their outtakes, their cuts and so forth, to say, okay, all right, that scene is not one long scene. It's, they had to stop because, you know, he got soft and that sort of thing. So, in reality, the big problem is there is just so much pressure put on young people to perform on some level that they're not supposed to.
If you really want to get more strength, if you or whatever it is, I seriously think with the way things are working out now, you can always go to the gym, you can always try out herbs and all that are actually healthy, that are out there, that you can put in your food. You don't necessarily have to go out there and buy something that's gonna make you bigger.
I was driving past 5th Avenue Spa and these kids come up to me and they got these little cases. He says, Madam Shungam son, right? So I look at these items, I'm like, you know what? Why not? You know what I'm saying? I pop a couple pills, you know, go home, whatever. I don't think they work, but the placebo effect was fucking fantastic. Okay, you think you're Hercules. Look, I think the problem with these pills, my guy, is that we're generations of instant gratification. We're 140 character generation. We want instant everything, you know. So instant news, so even instant erections, instant. You wanna be the best sexual guy ever, instantly.
Dancers nowadays, you know when the line is between prostitution and just basic adult entertainment. And we need to create an environment where they can make these decisions in a safe environment and not be forced into making decisions that are not the safest for them. And I think that's where many people worry about, but a lot of them sometimes end up getting forced to this environment simply because they just don't have access to money and the economy and so forth. You're looking at right now, I don't know if they're now swiping a strip clubs, I don't know.
They must strip denda ndakaonda ndegona kukupindura kozi mastripa mazhinji vanhu vakaonda pamwe exercise yevanhu vakaonda.
I think it's an art. Kwanisa kumonerera gumbo rako kugota upside down ugota sei zvinoda futi upper body strength netsapfu dzakati uyu nemasokuti nini. I actually want to try it.
If you look at our music videos, if you look at Nicki Minaj's music video, already you're thinking, okay, that's all right, people can do that. And then when it then comes to Africa, we really want to be like the Western world. We're like, okay, that's what's supposed to be done. We are so behind. We need to be doing this as well. So that's what has happened. We've taken Western culture and we've put it here in Africa where we have our morals, where we have our own principles and laws. And we've just decided, no, we're supposed to have this whole westernized thing. It all comes to the world order. Yeah, it's
sex tapes. I think people just want to see how they look or how they move or perform. I don't know what it's tatora natiri two and why are you sending it to other people to see? This is how that just confuses me.
Kuchikoro kunoitwa ma corrections. Mwana gona kutora achiti anoda kuzogadzirisa apa neapa neapa but
I don't think it's healthy. I think it's going to cause a lot of problems later on in our existence. I think we may actually have to rectify it as a humanity. We may actually have to sit down in 20 years time and look back and say, right, cool, we need to reset the internet and start again. cameras that are smart enough not to record a sexual event, or you know what I mean? Like, we're gonna have to find ways, or technology is gonna have to help us clean up some of the messes we've made, because this is no longer literature. This is no longer people being able to find a Shakespearean lost sonnet.
It's sad because you've got relationships where both people are going, no, I respect you, while screwing other people on the side to maintain the image of I respect you. If they were having sex, you've got the same amount of sex happening, but more people involved and a much lower infection rate, because you don't have the same hotspots where everybody's passing through, where you're more than likely to get an outbreak of disease. So if anything, people should be having far more sex for their own health and for the safety of others. And before you even think about saying no to your boyfriend or girlfriend, you are trying to be a murderer and raising people's chances of getting sick and dying, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
But the economy has pushed people to use that as an option for survival. Saga, if there's someone blessing you with their money while you bless them with pleasure, I think it's an exchange of, but just know it. Like, be clear that you know this is what you're entering into. You know what I mean? But I didn't love just putting it all out there for Bentons. I got no cash, guys. No. Saka yo kana usina tunhu twako usiri wait tufana twechidiki vane tunhu twavo. So yeah, shout out to Stana.
Just a word of advice to any guy out there: if your wife or girlfriend is refusing to have sex with you, it's medically proven that the number one risk factor for getting testicular cancer is not enough sex. They recommend 29 times a month. So, look, if you want to die a long and painful death from cancer, fine, go ahead. If you want to kill your husband, fine, go ahead. But you should know what you're doing is evil, and he is going to suffer and die of cancer.
Guys, sex is not easy. Like, who said sex? Does that feel like it's easy?